Hey guys, it's Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. So today, guys, I'm going to be recording my second part of my palette declutter series. Let me move my rolly trolley out of the way. All right. So I've got 2 buckets sitting here in front of me to start going through. It's just massive, massive, massive amounts of makeup. So let's just go ahead and get started because I'm trying to not run each of these over 30 minutes. And I still have many buckets sitting here and a whole shelf that's not even been put in buckets yet. So let's go ahead and get started. And I wanted to remind everybody, if you're not already, to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Trying to get to 500. We are almost there, guys. Last time I looked, we were at like 458, I think, maybe. So I'm hoping that in January we will be able to give away the big 500 subscriber giveaway prizes every month. Remember, I've been putting new products in it, and it is, you know, it's got stuff in there from milk makeup, or not milk makeup, but melt makeup. I don't know why I said milk. There are things from hair drying turbans, eyeshadow palettes, highlighter palettes, bags of makeup, and this next product that I'm going to be putting in it, this next roundup, is going to be pretty special, I think. So just make sure that you're subscribed. Give this video a thumbs up if you like declutter videos, or if you just love eyeshadow palettes, give it a thumbs up. And hit that notification bell so you know every time I upload a video. And let's go ahead and dive into my palettes. So right off top here is one that I know I'm going to be keeping. I love this palette. I don't know if you know this, but BH Cosmetics is starting to be one of my favorite eyeshadow brands. So this is the Paris palette. It looks like this. It is gorgeous, and I love it. So I will be keeping that. My next palette is the Alien Cosmetics Lore palette. It looks like this. Alien Cosmetics has changed their name to Unearthly Cosmetics, if you wasn't aware. And this is what the palette looks like. I will be keeping that. Alien is, again, one of my favorite eyeshadow brands. As you can tell, here's another one. This is the Not Normal palette. This is my grungy dreams. I love every look that I get with this palette, and it is staying in my collection. Did you think we were done with Unearthly Cosmetics? Here is the Hauntingly Glamorous palette, and it looks a little something like this. The pigment on this is, whew, it will kick your socks off. And I'm keeping it as well. I can't believe we got all those together like that. So the next one is by Pat McGrath. This is the Celestial Divinity palette from, or the Celestial Odyssey palette from the holiday collection of this year. And it looks like that. I love her, and I will be keeping her. I like to keep Pat McGrath's in the cartons because they're so pretty. If they're not in the carton, I've got the carton stored up. This is my other Pat McGrath palette. I say my other like it's my only, but it's not. This is the Mothership I can't remember which one this is. Maybe 2? It's on my box, but it's not here. It just says Mothership. But I'm keeping that one. Another Pat McGrath palette is the which one is this? This is the Floor Fantasia palette. I'm just making sure that I had that right. And it looks like that. Pretty, pretty. Then I have another Pat McGrath. This is the Celestial Divinity Luxe Quad. And it looks like that. Keeping. And I also have a couple of singles and a couple of her small palettes, but those will be in a different section. So, then I have the Norns palette by Odin's Eye. This is so pretty. I love the packaging on this. This is a stunning palette. This is actually the only Odin's Eye palette that I own. I just opted to pass on a lot of those collabs they were doing this year. It's not because they weren't beautiful or that I didn't love the people that they done the collabs with. It's just, man, I mean, as you can see, I've got tons of eyeshadows. And I have to pick and choose. And I have been upset that I didn't get that on some of them. So, but I don't have to have everything. This is the Juvia's Place I Live, I Love palette. This one is very pretty, but it's going in the maybe pile. The Fine Feathered by ColourPop. I'm keeping this one. This is my Color Story dream. I love this. Another one that's close to it, but they're still different enough, is the Wine and Only palette by ColourPop. And it looks like this. It is everything that the Fine and Feathered is, only deeper. So that's why. Let's see. I've got the Rose Quartz palette by Huda Beauty. Gorgeous. One of my newer palettes. It is staying right where she is. I love it. I have the Natasha Denona Glam palette, Glam Face palette in light. Looks like this. Very pretty. I'm keeping that. I have the Natasha Denona Retro palette. Probably one of the most loved palettes of 2022 or 2021. Everybody loved this palette, including myself. I also have the Natasha Denona Zendo palette, which I think is very smexy. I love it. I love these teals with those pinks. Very, very, very pretty. Then I have the Lime Crime Venus 3 palette. It looks like that. And I can't remember. There was some of these Venus palettes that I just was not breathtaking by. And I don't remember which ones it was. I like that one as it's swatching. So I think I'm going to keep that one around. So we're done with this box. Ugh. And I think that I am going to go ahead and keep this one around. But I think what I may end up doing, I hate that glitter, and I hate that it's got a glitter in it. I may end up depotting this. So, there's that. So, on to the next one. Right on top, from Bad Habit, we have the Solstice palette. I am going to pass this one along. We have the Natasha Denona Biba palette, Mine, it looks atrocious because I've had some shadows that fell out and I had to repress them. But it's well loved, and I love this palette. It's going nowhere. We have the BoxyCharm and Pure palette. I am going to let this one go. It is very well loved, though. We have the Alter Ego Artemis palette. I love this palette, and I am keeping it. We have my Taupe Beauty palette. As we all know, Taupe Beauty is no more, but I love this palette, and I am keeping it. I know many people did get it, so I'm keeping that one. Here is another Huda Beauty palette. It's the Naughty palette. I love this one, and it is staying in my collection. I have the ColourPop and I Love Sai Through My Eyes palette. I love this palette, so I'm not getting rid of that. Here is the Face Candy Milkshake Matte Eyeshadow Palette. I am going to pass this one along. It is very well loved, as you can see, but I'm going to get rid of that one. Let's see. I have my Nomad Cosmetics American Parks palette. Nomad is another one of my favorite eyeshadow companies. That looks like that. This is a stunning palette. So I am keeping that one. Here is the Glam Light Red Velvet Cupcake. While I do not think that this is red enough for a Red Velvet Cupcake, I do love it. So I am keeping it. If you know, Glam Light's formula is really good, especially their shimmers. And it's just so cute. And thankfully, this one is not an odd shape, so it's not hard to store. I have this Aromas palette by You Can Be. And I think I'm going to keep this for right now, because I do... Let me see. I do love these shades. And I may not decide to keep it in this palette. I may depot it, but I am going to keep it. Here is one by AOA, and it is Over the Rainbow. It is a $10 palette, and I just don't think these are any good. I mean, when you swatch them on your fingers, they look pretty good, but whenever you swatch them out, they're going to make me look like a liar. When you go to swatch them out and blend them, they get dusty and kind of go away. I mean, see how that orange went away? Those blues are good, but that orange just kind of dusted to nothing. I think that you can work with this palette and get it to work. But I don't want to do that. So I'm going to give that away if somebody wants it. If nobody does want it, then I'll just throw it in the trash. Here is the Supernova palette from Bad Habit. I am going to let this one go. Here is my Club Nebula palette from Kaleidos that Angie Neofist done with them. It is going nowhere. Here is another favorite of mine from Kaleidos, and it is the Flower Punk palette. Another favorite for this year. It is going nowhere. Nowhere, nowhere. I love this entire collection. It was so stunning. Let's see. The Ciate London palette. It looks like this. I am going to pass this one along. Woo! Oh, no, don't fall. This is Genesis by Midas Cosmetics and Drench Cosmetics. I love this little palette. It's so dark. I love it. So I'm keeping it. This is the Luster palette from Alter Ego. This was supposed to be a dupe for a Pat McGrath. And I just love Alter Ego. I don't care if they're dupes or not. I like Alter Ego. So I'm keeping that. This is my Orange Sorbet from BH Cosmetics. I'm keeping that. Get in there. I just pulled it out. Why won't it go back in? It's not rocket science, Lisa. This is my OVP Beauty Spotlight palette. I will be keeping this one. I love this palette. I love how dark the colors are in here. I just love it. And for the last one in this palette, I have my Graveyard and Tarte Swamp Queen palette. Oh my gosh, what just happened? Oh, my frame came off from around my mirror. How in the world? Nonetheless, I'm keeping this palette, guys. I love this palette for nostalgia reasons. I was a big Swamp Queen fan girl back in the day. That's really what got me started on YouTube, was her. And this was one of my first higher end palettes that I ever bought myself. So I am going to be keeping that. So let me put these back in my little box. So many palettes. Okay. Hold on one second. Okay, so I'm back with some more palettes. This section, I'm not going to be getting rid of anything because I want to tell you a secret. Come closer. I haven't used any of these NYX palettes. Not ever. I've gotten them to do videos with, and then other things have come out and trumped it, or I just had too much to do. But I plan on doing a video with these at some point. So, if there's anything that you see that you want to see a video on first, put it in the comments down below, okay? But shh, this is our secret. Okay. So the first one is the Shadow Kiss by Alter Ego. This one is supposed to be like the Glam palette for Natasha Denona. I do not own the Glam palette, so I can't say yes or no, but that's what it looks like. So that's the first one. The next one is, I have the Emeralds palette by Profusion. Everybody has said how good these are, so I wanted to try them. So I got a couple of them. This one is the Violets, but one shade did get busted. So there is that. I thought I had another one of those, but I may not. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, I also have the BH Cosmetics Puerto Rico palette. It's so beautiful. I have the XZX Cosmetics palette. A friend of mine sent me this from her collection because it was my kind of story, color story. So I have yet to use it, but I will. I got the Lust for Dusk palette from ColourPop. I have the Love palette from Natasha Denona. I have the Sunrise palette from Natasha Denona. I have the Unearthly Cosmetics Strawberry Milkshake palette. I also have the Nomad Cosmetics and was this the Fire and Ice? What was this? Yeah, the Iceland palette. I also have the new Viseart palette, Paris palette. I have the Violet Voss Violet Sunset palette. It looks like that. I have the Unearthly Cosmetics Fall Magic palette. Mine did come with a casualty, but I have tried to press it back in the pan, but it looks like this. This one will probably be one of the next palettes that I do a video on. This one and my Paris palette and the Encanto palette. I also went and got the Citrine palette from BH because I love that color story. I also have the highlighter for the Encanto palette. Oh, I have used these. This is not a ColourPop palette. This is Pretties for Your Face palette. It needs to go up there. I have the Ace Beauté Falling For You palette. I have this one, Majestic, from the Makeup Shack. I've never used anything from them, and I was so curious. It was very affordable. And look at that color story, guys. Oh. So, I've not heard anything about this company. And it was so affordable, so I wanted to try that. So gorgeous. I have the Blueberry Muffin palette from BH Cosmetics. I have the Bright Lights palette from Pinky Rose. I have the Violet Entendu from Viseart. I have a NARS palette, the Unwrapped Mini. I have the Lucky Penny from ColourPop. I have the Born This Way, the Natural Nude from Too Faced. I have the Sigma, the Dream palette. In case you all have forgotten what this one looks like, because it's been a minute. Ooh, looks like that. So gorgeous. And I'm dying for that Cinderella palette. Every time I see it, I want it so bad. But I keep telling myself that I don't need it. And as you see, I don't. But I want it. That basket's finally empty. I also have the Avocado Toast from BH Cosmetics. I have the Tourmaline palette from Wayne Goss. And I have the Tiny Marvels palette from Sydney Grace and Mel Thompson. So, all of that section has never been used by me. I would like to do videos on these. It's what I got them for. Like I said, I'm kind of putting priority on the Viseart palettes and the Fall Magic palette and the Encanto. anything after that, let me know what you guys want to see the most. And if there's anything in here that you don't want to see, I mean, absolutely could give two shits about. I don't want to waste my time making videos that you guys don't want to see. But I also don't want to waste my money either. So just let me know. And I'm going to end this one right here. We're already at 25 minutes. I think that I might be able to finish it up in one more video. Maybe. If I add the singles in with this collection, it will be 2 more videos at least. But I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But we're making it through. And don't worry, I will give a total at the end. So you guys will know how many I kept and how many I got rid of. So until next time, guys, God bless, and I love you all.